Not now, Milhouse. Mommy and Daddy are loud talking.
Animation is parodying Stranger Things without reserve. From subtle Halloween costumes to full-out episodes dedicated to the odder stuff, the dangerous things, and the sharing things. Stick around if you're at all curious about that Sesame Street parody.
What's that? Trick or treat!
Number 1. Sit on a couch, watch TV, or get dressed up and go out. We agree, binging is better. In an episode of Family Guy called Boy's Best Friend, Brian goes on a date with a shoe store clerk, and turns out she has a young son named Kyle. Well, Brian develops an affinity for the kid, but when his girlfriend breaks up with him, he misses the kid more than he misses her.
I mean, the person I actually miss hanging out with is Kyle.
So he volunteers to babysit while she goes on dates with other men.
All right, Kyle, what do you say you and me watch some Stranger Things?
That's better than a date, if you ask us. Number 2. First Halloween costume spotted. Meg from Family Guy dressed up as Robin Buckley. Who do you think wore the Scoops Ahoy hat better? Let us know in the comments. We personally think there's just something about Meg.
You guys all think you're so much better than me.
Number 3. Next up, the only movie on this list. Chip and Dale was jam-packed with references to other popular franchises. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
From parodies of The Simpsons to Winnie the Pooh, nothing was off the table. And when you're trying to craft a realistic animated Hollywood setting, it's probably easier and way more fun to rip off existing franchises. So, we were not surprised to find out that even Stranger Things got a little nod. Among other popular bootleg titles like Spaghetti Dogs and The Flying Bedroom Boy was one called Weirder Stuff. There are more ridiculous titles to come. Number 4. We hope you're ready for all the Simpsons references. There are a couple in the Simpsons Burger Kings episode, which sounds not only like a play on the title, but also the chain restaurant Burger King. Very cheeky, Simpsons writers.
This burger might just save the world.
The gang of kids from the supernatural horror show are chased on their bikes by a Demogorgon who's also riding a bike. As we know from past seasons of The Simpsons, which we'll get into more in a minute, this is in line with the intelligent Demogorgons they've already crafted, being more of a society of humanoids rather than monsters. Number 5. Not everything in Paradise PD is paradise. Actually, nothing is. Nothing at all. Firecracker Jim is interrogated about a missing bear by the police. To get him to talk, they put a firecracker in his fly and light it. Well, the thing goes off. To Firecracker Jim's ridiculous response.
Huh, actually looks kinda cool now. Looks like that monster's head from Stranger Things.
Don't worry, we looked so you don't have to. And yes, it does look like a Demogorgon. We've nicknamed this monster the Demodoodle. That's a terrible joke, and sorry, we'll not cut it. Number 6. Somebody should tell the Duffer Brothers that it is perfectly possible to write shorter episodes. We're looking at you, Part 2. Take the Simpsons parody, for example, which nailed all the plot points of Season 1 flawlessly in under 10 minutes. Fittingly, for the 666th episode, titled Treehouse of Horror XXX, which equals 30, they had a full parody segment of Stranger Things called Danger Things. Bart, Milhouse, Nelson, and Ralph represent the boys. Milhouse parodies Will Byers and is immediately kidnapped by a Demogorgon.
Milhouse still isn't home, and it's 2 a.m.
To save storytelling time, Milhouse's dad immediately goes insane and starts hammering into the walls.
Does this look crazy to you, Luann?
Why didn't they just do that in the real show?
If Milhouse is in another dimension, he can communicate with us by blinking these lights.
We're only 2 minutes in.
Why don't you go to your room, sweetie?
Whoa, easy on the electric bill there, son.
Number 7. We are genuinely surprised by the sheer number of Disney shows referencing the Netflix hit. Seriously, there are more Disney homages than Netflix has. Well, in an episode of DuckTales, the adorable little duckling Webby accidentally banished her friend to the Shadow Realm, and her friend is struggling to contact her. Comparable to the Upside Down, maybe? This next bit could just be a coincidence, since the Demogorgon's history doesn't begin with Stranger Things. It could be a reference to Dungeons and Dragons even, hence the dice.
Using ancient Demogorgon runes to contact shadow spirits?
It seems like a similar enough plot to when we lost Will Byers to the Upside Down, but what do you think? Is it a reference? the same reference material, or a total coincidence? Number 8. Next up, more from the Treehouse of Horror. Is it weird that Lisa plays 11? That's a reasonable question to ask, given Bart plays Mike, and the two characters in Stranger Things do date later on. Oh, we're just going to ignore that? Cool. Not like a better casting would have been Bart as Will Byers or anything, but hey.
She's our friend and she's crazy!
Why would the Simpsons writers have known that at the time? It seems like someone hasn't seen very much of season 3. Lisa gets an 11 haircut.
No, I was trying to give myself bangs and it got away from me.
Then she takes a visit to the Simpsons version of the Upside Down through the sensory deprivation tank.
I made it. I'm in the over-under.
Do you recognize the reference to the other Lisa who walks by? If you do, say so in the comments. They even managed to get the Mind Flayer in here for just a second, but he looks far less creepy when he's cartoonified.
Mr. Burns opened a portal to another dimension that released a lot of monsters.
Of course it was Mr. Burns. It's always Mr. Burns. He just wants to watch the world. Burns.
Excellent. Oh, you've done it again, sir.
Number 9. Not only did The Simpsons hit all the plot points and characters, they also included many important locations. Note that the school isn't involved because school isn't important. On top of the Upside Down featuring the entirety of Springfield covered in vines, there was Rats Court Mall, and the arcade. Number 10. Steve Harrington, is that you? In an episode of BoJack Horseman called Mr. Peanut Butter's Booze, in the Halloween party episode, you may have missed this mustachioed man hanging around. His Halloween costume is most definitely a reference to Stranger Things Season 2, and Steve Harrington's outfit. Equipped with more than just the bat, he's also got the gloves and the jacket. It's Steve. However, the dude in BoJack just does not capture that luscious hair. Number 11. This might be the most relatable episode of The Simpsons ever.
I watched a binge-worthy TV show without my wife.
In an episode called I'm Dancing as Fat as I Can, there are several references to Stranger Things. Homer is alone with Netflix while Marge is away visiting her aunt. Homer considers watching Odder Things without Marge.
No! Only when we're together. It's our glue!
Well, he watches anyways, and like the rest of us, binges it all in one go.
Wow.
And binges a box of waffles, too. Homer obviously doesn't have Netflix on his phone, and the show is so addicting that he sets up a series of mirrors to watch it on the toilet.
Uh-oh, the lady from my marriage.
You watched it.
Plagued with guilt for watching without her, and because of Marge's icy cold sass, Homer starts having the strangest of nightmares.
I waited for Letty before I watched.
And he wakes up in the oddest of places.
Quit sleeping in the garden.
Number 12. A wholesome conclusion. The plotline where Homer binged Stranger Things without Marge ends with an homage to the Season 2 episode, The Gate. Homer and Marge dance in the Snow Ballroom, and surprisingly, nothing funny happens. It's just a charming moment, finally. One that isn't just a reference to the TV show, but a direct homage. We wonder if they will bring the ball back in The Simpsons since it appeared in the newest season of Stranger Things. Seriously, we can't wait to see what ridiculousness they come up with for Vecna. Number 13. We are genuinely surprised there aren't more references in Bob's Burgers. During a 20-day game of birthday hide-and-seek, Felix Fischoeder is hiding from his brother, Calvin Fischoeder, in the grossest and blandest of places. First in the garbage, and then in the Belcher's basement. If he gets to 20 days, he'll beat his brother's record.
Why aren't you hiding somewhere cool, like Europe?
Or the Upside Down.
If the animation looks a little different than the Bob's Burgers you know from the trailers, that's because the official episode was created by 62 fan artists. Number 14. Only South Park would have the gall to say it, even though we were all thinking it.
Isn't Stranger Things just like that movie? Just like that movie, It?
They've got a point, don't they? It's more than just an aesthetic thing. Yes, the episode of South Park really does start off referencing It, with the red balloon and the kid in a rain jacket, but kids gathering on bikes to talk about the scary stuff they've seen just seals the deal. What makes this sketch original is that the scary monster isn't a Demogorgon, but the former president of the United States, asking about approval ratings. Man, South Park is weird. Number 15. Season 2 isn't the strongest season, so this is a warranted statement. Artificial intelligence that writes TV recaps is something that catches Lisa's eye at a STEM conference in the episode of The Simpsons called Ha Ha Land.
Stranger Things suffers from Season 2 fatigue.
Number 16. This one starts clever and ends with toilet humor. Can we expect anything more from Family Guy? Well, Brian and his wife have neighbors in the apartment directly beneath them. And the apartment happens to be the upside down there.
Holy crap, Hal, what's wrong with you?
You love it.
Oh, Family Guy. Number 17. Another cruel review from The Simpsons on Disney+. In the Krusty the Clown episode of The Simpsons, Homer gets a job reviewing TV shows.
God bless you, content-addicted clickbaiters.
And he's a tough critic.
Stranger Things. Spielberg's back. C-.
This might be a clever review, too, as Spielberg directed E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which Stranger Things took a ton of inspiration from. Number 18. Stranger Things gets one more teeny tiny nod in the same episode of The Simpsons. Turns out that the USA Network is all a hoax.
There hasn't been for 20 years! It's just bus ads!
They don't care if people watch their shows, they just care about their $13 a month. Stranger Things is among the wall of shows that appear. Don't start looking for the red and black classic title. This one is blue on black. On the biggest screen, 10 rows over, 6 down, nestled between Slasher, One Day at a Time, The Affair, and Game of Thrones.
And you shouldn't like things because people tell you you're supposed to, okay?
Number 19. Hollywood kids grow up so fast. In the 4th season of BoJack Horseman, while planning for an A-lister Hollywood wedding, Rutabaga Rabinowitz is looking for a ring bearer.
Hey, we want one of those Stranger Things kids to be the ring bearer. They're still little, right?
Well, at the release of BoJack Season 4, the kids were high school age, so no, they weren't still little.
Sometimes your total obliviousness just blows my mind.
Number 20. We are surprised. This cartoon got a 2nd season. It is so painful. The kids appeared in an episode of Paradise PD called Dungeons and Dragnet, just after a raid on another group of kids playing D&D.
I found 4 more. What do you want to do with them, Chief?
Number 21. A creative Halloween pairing, we must admit. In another Simpsons episode, a character shows up to the Comic-Con dressed as Eleven, and her partner dressed as a box of waffles. The true romantic pairing for Eleven, let's be real.
I dump your
We don't think Mike could even be sad over this. It makes too much sense. Number 22. In the last Simpsons parody, only girls had telekinetic powers, so they're breaking their own rules now. In an episode with a title referencing Dr. Seuss, The Cat in the Hat, Rod and Todd use telekinetic powers to lift a car and get nosebleeds, just like Eleven.
Let our faith lift up this cube, Lord.
Well, technically they're using the power of prayer to make a crushed car levitate. What do you think? Stranger Things reference or nah? Number 23. The smallest nods to Stranger Things. Executive producer John Frakes was credited as Stranger Frakes in the 29th Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons. And one of the less exciting show references was another play on the title, Manager Things. It was a Christmas episode. Number 24. There's not enough puppet shows to have a channel dedicated to puppets, so we shoehorned this entry in here. And you'll be glad we did.
You actually want to watch this? Oh, come on, seriously?
We just couldn't help but include this adorable Sesame Street sketch in honor of Stranger Things called Sharing Things, with Cookie Monster playing the Coookiegorgon in the snack side down, eating everyone's Halloween candy, and pumpkins.
Me want more food. Me so hungry.
They get an A+ for creativity. We think TV critic Homer Simpson would agree.
A+.
Bert didn't get a cameo, but Ernie did play Dustin, and got a snack side-down pet named Dirt.
Don't worry, old buddy Dirt. I'll share with you too.
Things get just a little bit creepy, though, for all of 2 seconds.
That's not strange. That's just an octopus trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Clever what they did with Hopper, too. Eleven, on the other hand, is just a wee bit goofy.
11! Friends share.
Okay, that's it.
Can I go home now?
Oh, eat your waffle, Barb.
Yeah, Barb, eat your waffle. Number 25. No, Old Lady Harley number 3 is no TV episode, but It is worth noting anyways, because the DC comics have opened up the gateway to future Stranger Things references. The show is a popular piece of fiction in the DC universe thanks to one Harley Quinn. And well, Gaten Matarazzo exists in that universe too, referenced only as that kid from that one show. Stranger Things is a popular Halloween theme, and well, we guess there's a good reason for that. What was your favorite reference to the show? Did we miss any that you would have included in this list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome animated content.